Placement for it that'll do the
Yeah,
same thing.
YouTube/Redkiller.
Okay.
And we're live. Hey,
Matt.
everybody. I'm m.thiffault, and I'm here with... Go for it.
Robin Mordashevich. Sounds like you got your notifications on. Getting emails here, dings in the background. That's getting ourselves together here online. This is exciting, Matt.
Yeah, so I'm glad we're finally doing this, and I think really so everybody knows who's kind of tuning in or watching this video is Robin and I really have a lot of these interesting conversations that we think will benefit others in our community, whether it's sellers or consumers of F5 or tech in general is what we're kind of looking at, and a way to kind of promote using some of these new technologies or video or live stream meetings to kind of meet up with people and get connected with people in our industry. Agree, disagree, Robin?
Yeah, so you and I have crossed paths at conferences and talked about doing some of this stuff for quite a while now. It's been an idea that's been incubating. We've been kind of honing these skills, working on them. Maybe we'll just touch on, I'm not sure if you had an agenda or if you kind of want to just roll with the conversation and figure out what happens. But this sort of goes back to, there's cliches that get thrown around from time to time. And we've gone through, the agile revolution. A lot of our customers have really fully embraced that methodology or those methodologies. We're hearing about digital transformation a lot. And like many of these phrases, sometimes some of them stick, some of them just kind of fade away. And this concept of digital transformation was sort of developed to avoid the brick and mortar crumbling effect that we see with, some of our favorite stores. Like you and I grew up going to Toys R Us and things like that. And, in the US, they're closed down now, right? And so that brick and mortar crumbling effect has had a pretty dramatic effect. And so digital transformation is really sort of helping older established companies compete with startups that grew up with these agile methodologies. And this concept also had unexpected effects on the sales force. You and I, case in point, here we are having conversations using tools that my teenage kids had to show me how to use, right?
Well, and, I agree with you, Robin, too. And I think I totally agree is part of it is not only how it's affecting us and our roles and our jobs that we do, but I think this is another way that we can kind of share or get out some of the things that we love about kind of what we do in our roles and the tech and everything we come across. Like for example, just how handsome I look because of it's got me going with this new video rig setup and everything. And just how it's quite simple. Like we've not really spent a lot of time or money into being online and how we're communicating and putting these things together. Agree?
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like a trivial thing. It's like, hey, you guys have some webcams. Well, we've had webcams for a long time, but we've seen businesses deploy conference rooms, and we kind of went through a phase where those conference room video cameras and stuff like that just were too complicated to use, and they just became, technology that people just didn't really use much at all until tools like WebEx and Zoom, things like that, and Google Hangouts, Skype, made it easy to sit at your own desk and control the tech yourself. And plugging in a USB webcam seemed so much more accessible than booking a meeting room where there's a big TV and there's a camera and remote controls. And it kind of put a barrier up for a lot of people, and adoption rate wasn't very high. But at your desk video conferencing has really been a big digital transformation.
For sure. The other thing, without, I think you use the best word to describe it, is without being an infomercial, some of the ideas and things that we're going to cover in a bi-weekly fashion or monthly, we haven't really kind of figured it all out, but we're working on bi-weekly now. We're also looking out to the industry and people that we work with or people that are seeing these videos to come up with topics that they think will be interesting from an F5 perspective, or kind of an alliance partnership, or other vendors that we work with, or other manufacturers we work with, and what their tech is and how we're doing cool things with those. Also, kind of hearing from other people in the industry. So for me personally, I'm super excited and interested about the Nginx stuff right now. Not only because we purchased Nginx, but also because it's so relevant in a lot of our customers long before we purchased it, and how we're fitting in and working together is kind of exciting right now in F5 anyways. I don't know
Yeah,
how you see it, Robin, but
absolutely. I mean, I didn't, when they were a competitor of ours, I wasn't privy to as many conversations as I am now that we
right.
are, you know, F5 is the umbrella organization for Big IP and Nginx, and so it's a family of products now. And so when I talk to customers, they're a lot more open about what are the other products they're using in their environments. And interestingly enough, some of those customers that use our products, there are silos of responsibility, right? And sometimes a product will get slotted into, we often get slotted into the NetEng. The NetEng team will run the F5 stuff, right? And so the DevOps team doesn't want to use our product because it's operated by a different team, so they'll intentionally look around for some alternatives, right? And often that was Nginx. And so now we've got multiple sides of this conversation that we can be part of. So it really expands things. And of course, the buyers of Nginx, again, going back to this digital transformation, they're typically a DevOps culture, people that do things really quickly. They want answers right away. They want to be able to go to a website. They don't want a salesperson coming and taking them out for lunch. They want to just like click on a link and talk to somebody. 5 minutes later, they've got their product, they've got their license, they're off to the races kind of thing.
Right.
And so we've got this, this old, or I shouldn't say old, but this well-established part of F5 where we've got a sales force that is very good at getting on airplanes and coming out and having big meetings, and we schedule things out. And that's been something that we've transforming through. But, marrying the two family of products and getting exposed to the customers that use Nginx was really accelerated that momentum that the sales force is now working to adopt.
Right. So I think that's super interesting. So something also unique about what you do, you work in the service provider space, correct?
Yeah. So I'm happy that this seems like it's a well-suited forum for you working in the partner space, and you've asked me to sort of be your sidekick here, and so I'm definitely happy to do that. And I'm sure we'll have many interesting guests, but my background is service providers, so from time to time I might pull the conversation around talking about some of the other industry buzzwords like 5G and network slicing and automation, scaling and stuff like that. And another passion I have is there's a lot of activity around this new space race, which kind of goes hand in hand with the development of 5G. So there's a new satellite backhaul coming online, which is contributing greatly to this space race. And the first 60 satellites were launched just this past May, and
very cool.
800 by the end of the year. North America will be covered in a couple of years. It'll be the whole world, and so every inch of the planet is connected via high speed, which means transport trucks connected real time from remote locations, and heavy equipment mining operations don't require human beings, and doctors in Japan can hear the heartbeat of a patient on the other side of a planet in a video connected operating room. And so I'm super excited to see this explosive development for the customers that I cover in service providers. But yeah.
I would say it's also super cool that a couple of regular guys like you can kind of have their hand and be a part of this, kind of growing up with who we are. What we're doing today for them.
Definitely an exciting time. Now, you've talked about be inviting another host of people or other panelists to join us, which I think is also greatly interesting. What are some of the other topics that you think people will be interested to hear about?
Well, other than the Nginx guys, I've kind of been talking to a few of the cloud evangelists as well too, who their role is to get in front of customers or partners and evangelize kind of what it is that we're doing together. And so that's the other exciting part for me too, is not only is F5 in anything that you call going to space or race to space, but we're also involved with like the hottest technologies. Like I'm super excited about cloud, Azure, AWS, and how we're fitting into those plays, and how we're a top consumption partner for these cloud providers. So it's exciting for me to be involved in that tech as well too. So not only are we doing this stuff on the service provider space, but being able to scale for all kinds of customers on what we're doing. So without getting too far down that infomercial road, I'm going to check our time too. We said today we're going to be quick and be just 15 minutes, which is great, I think, compared to our last 4-hour marathon we did.
That's right, yeah.
Kind of something different, but I kind of got us rolling anyways and got us some constructive feedback to start this. I just want to circle back and say, you know what, our plan now is to get a bunch of people following and observing what we're doing, and coming back and talking to Robin and I and engaging. So one of the things I'm trying to do is a little incentive. So for the first 3 people who kind of give a recommendation of a topic or something that F5 or F5 partner related that we want to cover off on, I'm going to send out a Starbucks gift card. I know I didn't tell you that, Robin, but I was like, well, we have the resources to do these kind of things at F5. So hopefully we can connect some people this way and say, you know what, to start off, we can do some inexpensive incentives like this. So first 3 people that send me an email saying, hey, Matt, I caught your live stream, or Matt and Robin, I caught your live stream. I think, you know what, I would love to hear more about XYZ. And boom, first 3, Starbucks gift card. And this has to happen before our next live cast, right? So we can kind of try and use it and get those ideas lined up. You and I, our date is going to be for episode number 2, or whatever we're going to call this, August 8th, which is again a Thursday in the afternoon. We'll do around 3:15 again. We'll shoot out a LinkedIn reminder to everybody to get these. Also, go to our channel. Subscribe is the other thing that you do. I never even thought of that. Like, that's something you can do too. Like, when we have booked, you can subscribe. I feel like now I'm one of these YouTuber.
Yeah, you're supposed to say things like, click the bell, like and subscribe, and I guess we should learn how to curate the chat and stuff like that. I'm looking over at the side here.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I'm like, I was thinking that as soon as I did that, I'm like, remember to click right here. And I'm like, I don't even know where that is. So I got to watch someone else do this. Yeah. So that's another way to connect with us too. I'm hoping to have maybe one guest for next week. I'm not sure who it is, but it'll be a bit of a surprise. So it'll either be someone who partners with us talking about kind of their experience and what they do, or one of our alliance partners. I'm hoping someone from Nginx to kind of give us a deeper dive. We'll get some future. We'll get some kind of cohesivity between us, what's going on. So August 8th is going to be meeting 2. Also, what I want someone to ask is, and if they don't, I'll make it up pretend, and I'll tell Robin they did. I want to see some like under 5-minute demos. Like, what can we rip off right here really quick to show partners and customers, like, you know, this stuff is becoming easier and easier, and it's really solving a lot of customer problems. So I think that would be interesting. Robin, are you game, or you're like, oh crap, this guy?
Yeah, no, for sure. It's like, oh yeah, I want to see somebody like writing a JSON payload and then issuing a REST call with that. That's gonna be exciting.
Yeah. I want to. So the other thing too is, so my claim to fame is I used to do work and now I just talk about work. But I think it'd be a great opportunity, like, to take someone like me that is, I have the some of the background, but I'd like to see, like, you know what? Let's put me back on the chopping block and say, you know what, Matt, here, from someone who's not doing this every day and not hands-on with these, how easy is this going to be for someone who is to turn around and kind of do something that our customers are doing today? So train the partner guy, I guess we can call that. But anyways, so these are all the ideas we're to. So quick reminders. Next episode, August 8th. Submit some ideas to me. My email is in the notes for this session. And I'll send out the first 3 people to give good ideas Starbucks gift card. But like I said, this is so we can reach out and communicate to you and give you guys what you want. So, Ron, anything else you want to close with?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to being your co-host here, Matt. And
Mattman and Robin. All right,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, the other thing to note is this is all going to be live, so warts and all, and mistakes, and you know, you might see a train wreck, or you might see something amazing here.
I hope it's not a train wreck, but I want as many people watching.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I guess that's our 15 minutes of fame today. So I'm going to check out. Robin, thanks for doing this with me.
Yeah, thank you. We'll talk to you later, Matt.
See you guys. Bye. Stop broadcast.